Let's have a meeting. Tyrone Township meeting come to order. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're recording the meeting. Roll call. Mr. Cook. Here. Mr. Killiner. Here. Edwards is here. Approval of the March 13th meeting. Minutes as written. Do I have a motion?
We'd like to hear this.
If you need to talk, come up here to the podium and we'll tell you when you can talk.
I am permitted under the Sunshine Act to comment on any official business. Anytime you call
Do I have
for a
a
vote,
motion?
that's official business.
Do I have a motion? Motion. Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
That's a violation of the state sunshine law.
Okay. Treasury report.
Treasurer's report as of 4/10/2012. Checking. General fund $183,753.56 minus the $19,065 DCED grant and the $27,150 DCNR grant, leaving $137,538.56 in the general fund. Light fund $4,332.07. State fund $95,143.41. Below Mountain Midstream Incorporated escrow account $16,754.52. Certificate deposits, First Federal of Greene County, $344,292.62. Pliget, $4,119.06, leaving a total of $348,411.68. PNC Treasury notes, $304,010.49.
Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, public comment. Anybody who needs to make a comment, kindly step up to the podium here and state your name and what you have to say.
Public comment regarding what?
Regarding anything you want.
Okay, name's Nathan Classic. I, under the state Open Records Act, would like a copy of the draft minutes.
Okay.
And under the state sunshine law, we get to comment on anything, any official business before it's conducted, which is any vote you make, which includes the minutes.
We'll have to check with that.
Yes, you will.
We'll check on that. We'll let you know.
Good. No, I already read them.
That's okay. We'll still let you know.
Good, good. I noticed under unfinished business, you mentioned discussion of the 2012 International Property Maintenance Code.
Right.
Could you tell us what occurred last meeting, since we couldn't hear the minutes?
Well, let's see. Okay, it says there was a motion made to abolish the International Code Council. Property Maintenance Code.
That's inaccurate.
That's what it says.
Well, and I'm saying it's inaccurate based on the recording I have of that.
Okay. Correct me.
There was a motion to abolish the International Property Maintenance Code.
Okay.
So,
But not 2012.
well, it's hard to abolish something you didn't adopt.
Right.
Did you intend to adopt at this meeting?
We are discussing it this meeting.
You're discussing.
Yes.
So you're going to discuss it after we have public comments.
Yes.
So the discussion really is exclusive of the public.
You have comments? Do it now.
As you saw last meeting, a good portion of the township is opposed to any property maintenance code, not just the 2012 version or any other version.
Whenever you say good portion, do you mean the 100 people that were here last month?
That would be a good portion.
We have 2,000 residents.
And how many of those have you talked to?
situations in our township that we're dealing with.
Could you tell me?
I can tell you one in particular where a certain individual had so many animals in their house that another individual could not go in the house because of the odor in the house. And there was a young child, a 1-year-old child in the house, and a pregnant woman in the house. And that's the way the people lived. Now, that's what this is about. Another one, a person who lived in a house, the house was falling apart, and the only way that they got the person out of that house was the floor caved in. So the person had to go. And that's what it's about. It's not about screens. It's not about temperature. It's about the health, welfare, and safety of the residents of the township. That's what it's about.
So everything that's in there can be applied at your discretion or Roger Adams' sole discretion?
Not necessarily. It would have to go through the court. It would have to go through the magistrate. We're not a court. We are township government, and the court magistrate or the court in Uniontown would be the people who would
Why does
decide this.
Tyrone need such a sweeping code?
Everybody has it. Can you name
So
any
a lot of people
townships?
do drugs, do meth, and
Can
have
you-
babies out of wedlock. Does that
Can
mean
you
it's
name
okay?
Can you name any municipalities around here that don't have it?
Does that mean we need it? I don't need to name others that don't have it. I'm asking, do we need it? The residents
We
that came
definitely-
last time said we don't.
We definitely, all you gotta do is drive around the township and you can see that we need it.
How do we see that we need it?
Very, very bad looking places in the township.
But why is that the business of a code enforcement officer or the supervisors if a house looks bad?
Because health and safety of the residents.
So you can look at a house and tell that the residents' health and safety is,
Well,
And
we got a
jeopardy.
pretty good idea, yeah.
and there's no other
You got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
So there's no other way that people's health and safety can be protected than with a sweeping code that is enforced at whatever level the current officer and supervisors see fit.
See, you're wrong there. You're wrong. The courts, the magistrate, whoever, they're the people that would enforce this.
Well, no, the code officer has to come around, or, I mean, I don't just show up in court, or someone else doesn't just show up in court magically. Someone brings them there. Which would be the code enforcement officer, Roger Adams, that was hired by the township.
Well, we're finished. You sit down now.
That's kind of what I thought.
Any other people who would like to make a comment?
My name's Tom Curry. I'm a resident of Tyrone Township also. And I would like to address last meeting also, what kind of went on here. There was an article in ABC News, 3/25/12, where 8 people were killed in a fire. And it really kind of exemplifies why we do need international property maintenance code or something along those lines. At that point there, the code officials had obtained a right of entry search of a residence, okay? They talked to the owner and said, okay, we're going to inspect this property, and they came up with time to inspect this property. One of the arguments the folks made last time is people should kick down doors. Well, no, the code officer showed up at the property, knocked on the door. There was no adult present. So because of that, they cannot go through and serve, even if they had a search warrant, serve that search warrant. So they left the property. They did not enter that property, did not go through that property, did not do a code inspection of that property. Because they did refuse that search, what happened there was, unfortunately, about a week later, there was a devastating fire in that property where 8 people were killed. Adults, young kids, babies, young children were killed in that fire. And the reason they were killed, or part of the reason they were killed, is the lack of smoke detectors, which would have been caught due to that inspection of their property maintenance code, which addresses smoke detectors, which says you have to have one in each bedroom and in the hallway living spaces and in the general living space. In that residence, they had 1 smoke detector underneath the counter in the kitchen. Not sufficient. And to quote the Charleston, West Virginia, Mayor Danny Jones, he said, had they abided by the International Property Maintenance Code, a lot of people would have been alive that aren't alive today. Exactly. People would have been alive today that are not. A couple of arguments that were made last month, I find were kind of hysterical, as opposed to reasonable. The statement that is unconstitutional. The Property Maintenance Code, International Property Maintenance Code, and all the United one of those codes, if not more, if not all, including the District of Columbia also. As an example, in the state of Pennsylvania, the Uniform Construction Code that everyone has to abide by is also the ICC code. It's written by the same folks. It's the same codes. Couple tweaks here and there, but it's the same code. Okay? They made a comment about, well, I go to jail if I don't pay my fine. Well, yeah, you could go to jail if you don't pay your fine. You could go to jail if you don't pay your fine for a speeding ticket. You go 5 miles, you go 30 and a 25, get a speeding ticket, you don't pay your fine. Yeah, you can go to jail. So does that mean we should get rid of the speeding laws because we can go to jail for them? The logic doesn't make sense there. This doesn't really apply. The same rules apply to both sets of ordinances and codes. Another one of their arguments was it's the international proclamations. Why do we say it's international? The International Code Council is a non-profit, United States-based organization. It's a name. It's like saying, let's get rid of all the Sony TVs because they're Sony on it. It's a foreign name. Or let's get rid of all Toyota cars because they've got Toyota. We don't need Toyota cars in here. Then again, it's kind of an irrational argument. It doesn't make sense. I stress that we should have a real debate about the International Property Maintenance Code. I do have a couple of concerns with the International Property Maintenance Code as would apply to a township type situation. I think are valid and worth looking at. One being the grass ordinance, the grass section of that. You know, we have to go through and say how tall the vegetation is going to be in that ordinance. And it may or may not apply to all situations. We probably might want to look at that. Maybe there is some reason why we should allow unlicensed, unregistered, inoperable vehicles on people's property. Maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know. I can't think of one, but hey, I'm open to debate. I'm open to listen to the argument and say, hey, look, let's listen to the debate about it. I encourage you all to get past the hysteria of the arguments that have been placed around here and get down to the facts of the matter. Yes, we do need something. Yes, the International Property Maintenance Code is a good, all-encompassing code, has a good base to go from. Do we need to tweak it a little bit? Maybe. Maybe we look at it and tweak it, decide exactly what we need to do with it. That's great. But to throw it out because it's international, or throw it out because it's unconstitutional, or to throw it out because you might go to jail, or throw it out because the name doesn't fit with what we should think, doesn't make sense to me at all. Let's have a real debate about the real issues of the code itself, as opposed to the hysteria that we've had before and the hysteria we had last month. So I'm asking you all to go through and look at that and be rational about it, and be rational going through and get past the hysteria. I also want to mention one of the other hysterical things they had last month was, watch out, here comes zoning. Well, we already have zoning. Fayette County, as a county, has zoning. We specifically, as Upper Tyrone Township, do not have zoning. Fayette County has zoning we have to comply to. So the question then becomes, who do you want controlling your zoning? Do you want somebody here in the township, your neighbors controlling the zoning, or do you want Fayette County controlling your zoning? So it's a legitimate question there also. I thank you for your time. I appreciate it. You'll have a good day. Thank you for your work.
Anybody else? We'll move along. I'd like a motion to pay bills.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence.
First piece of correspondence from Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, and this is: Dear municipal officials, I am pleased to inform you that your liquid fuels tax refund payment in the amount of $54,645.91 will be paid on 4/2/2012. This amount includes your share of the Act 655 liquid fuels and Act 44 allocations minus bridge inspection costs if applicable. And this is for our roads. And then we have our another one from Pennsylvania Department of Transportation regarding our turnback maintenance, and it says, I am pleased to inform you that your road turnback annual maintenance payment in the amount of $3,400 will be paid on 4/1/2012. And it goes on about enrollment, and it says, Act 32 of 1983, as amended by Act 70 of 2006, provides an annual maintenance payment of $4,000 per mile beginning the first full year after these roads were returned.
That's for Valley View Drive. That was a state road before the township accepted it. Okay, unfinished business. Discussion, 2012 International Property Maintenance Code. Chuck? You have anything?
No, just that we, in unfinished business, I guess we're going to make a motion now.
make some modifications to some
I think
specifics.
Tom's got the right idea. A little bit of tweaks in there to change a little bit.
Well, I think we should have the attorney look at it, and if we're gonna pass something that we're gonna try and enforce, there's a lot of legal issues that are involved, that if we're gonna pass it, that we wanna make sure we're covered.
Okay.
You can't, I mean, like, if we pass the International Maintenance Code, do we pick and choose items out of there, or do we,
I would,
I
I
don't know if we
think
can,
pick and choose.
I don't know if we can legally do that, and
But I'm saying if my house catches on fire, or if somebody comes in my home, it's inspected in my utility boxes, in my breaker boxes. Who's responsible? The guy that inspected my boxes? Or me?
For, you asking me a question?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure. So if you've got a fire in your house and you're claiming it's the responsibility of from the utility box itself, I'm going to back off here and say that's a civil matter or a criminal investigative matter that you need to address. The point of the International Property Maintenance Code is not to point fingers at people and say who did what. The point is to make sure that you're protecting general health, safety, and well-being of the population. That's the idea behind it. And there are some situations in there we looked at and say, hey, look, even though this is wrong, i.e. garbage is a good one. It is the property's responsibility to pick up garbage on their property. If some yahoo's driving by in the middle of the night throwing his beer bottles out his window, yeah, unfortunately, he's the one that did it, but I have to go pick it up. And it's the same type of scenario there. You know, I don't know who would be at fault. There's a negligence issue there. You know, probably a much better question for either an investigative attorney and or a criminal investigative attorney to look into that type of scenario.
Okay, well, how about we direct the solicitor to look at the code, make recommendations as to what we could do as far as streamlining it a little bit for us.
motion for that.
I'd like a motion, yes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll get together for you,
Whenever, just give me a call.
no.
Oh.
I mean, the motion is fine as made, but I think that perhaps the board as a whole needs to
We need to sit together with you.
review it, sit with me and review it and determine what, if anything, you might want eliminated, and then make a determination as to whether or not it's possible.
And it is possible we can't do that, right?
I mean, if you are going to adopt the 2012 International Property Maintenance Code, I would imagine that you're adopting it in total.
Yes, the way it stands right now.
Unless you're going to do something else.
We have a motion to adopt the International Property Maintenance Code as it is.
Well, no, you can't do that because you'd have to re-advertise.
I'm sorry, do we have a motion to re-advertise for adoption of the International Property Maintenance Code?
I'm under the impression we just made a motion to have Rick look into it.
Right.
And see if we can change it or modify it or whatever.
Okay.
And then next month, bring it up as an intent to pass or whatever we come up with.
Okay, now, can we get together and the four of us and go over this between now and next month?
That's fine.
If you have a quorum, you have to, it has to be open to public,
That's right. Let's be a public meeting.
which you might have to advertise for the special.
That's right. Thank you.
So I think for now, the motion is for me to review it and determine whether or not you can modify it or amend it in any way prior to adopting it, or at least making an intention to.
Right, yes.
Well, if we were to ask you to give us your thoughts on changes that we could make to tweak it to better fit our township, could you do that?
I can do it.
Well, that's what this is about. Because,
Well, there's two legal questions. One, whether
That's what I was.
I think so.
You could get the guy with the camera on the committee.
All right.
Tom got some good points, you know, you get tweet a little bit.
All right, let's do that. What do you think? Paul, Sam, what do you think?
I
Want a committee, want to be on the committee?
Yeah, I'd be on.
Chuck, you want a committee?
And if I can make it to the meeting,
No, would the committee require a special meeting?
Well, as long as you don't have a quorum of,
Supervisor, so only one
you would have
supervisor
a
then.
quorum if you put two on.
Only one supervisor.
you might want to have one supervisor and you might have, you're going to probably need to make a recommendation as to who should be on that committee. though. And obviously, you're going to ask them to be on the committee. Some may say yes, they have time, and some may say no, they don't. So
Okay, Sam,
That's fine.
Tom,
If you find it come available, sure.
Nathan?
sure.
Okay, committee of three. I'll entertain a motion to appoint Sam, Nathan, and Tom as a committee to review the 2012 International Property Maintenance Code and make recommendations as to better fit our township. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
You make a motion, or you make a motion?
I'll entertain a motion. Somebody needs to make the motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it, but one of the questions is, we should have our code enforcement as part of
No, that,
input to that committee.
I agree with that.
Whether it be officially or whenever they meet, at least
Good
have
idea.
them available.
Well, then we'll add Roger to it then.
I agree with that.
You're going to be careful, make sure you got enough that.
I think your code enforcement marshal should be part of the committee. He might be an advisor, but I don't think he should be part of the committee because you have a conflict of interest.
I didn't mean to put him on the committee, but his input is necessary for people to know what's going on in the township.
As an advisor.
And right.
Okay, so we have three people on the committee. Sam, Tom, and Nathan.
And we can plug in
We have a motion.
in a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You chair. You pick the dates when you guys can get together.
All you have to do is call me at home, I'll give you my numbers.
Call them. Okay, reports of officials. Fate pen application to DEP for a stormwater pond and 3,100 feet of road for development. That's in the Kendai development. As soon as I can find the papers, I'll talk about it. Okay, Fate pen, this is mainly for the floor folks. Fate pen has requested a National Pollution Discharge Elimination Service permit, system permit for sewage that they intend to put in the Kendai development. Also, they intend to grade 3,100 feet of road for future development and put a stormwater pond in. We expect to get information as to when their permit will be, when the application for the permit is submitted. I don't think it's even done yet, according to the engineer. And we will be involved in that, and we would like to have some of the residents involved also. The road to be graded would be Kendai Road. The stormwater pond, we don't know exactly where it is. If you look at that drawing up there, you kind of get an idea. We're concerned about water, about the surface water running and where it's going to go. And also, we'll be discussing a pump station, possibly a pump station for sewage or gravity flow for sewage. We don't know what's going to happen there yet either. That's the one thing we have. The second one we have is participation panel that I think I mentioned to some of you folks before. That is the thing that they do every 6 months or so in the county. They get the commissioners involved, and they get PennDOT involved, and they get this other commission, Pennsylvania, Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, involved in this. And this is where PennDOT advised me to go to this meeting to talk about the island on 119 and Kingview Road intersection. So that's what I'm planning to do. And here again, I will find out exactly when the meeting is and where, so that we can get some folks there. Yeah.
Clarification, do you mean Kingview Road intersection?
You mean
McClure Road?
McClure Road?
Jessica Kingview Road.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, McClure Road, I'm sorry. Okay, that's that one. Okay, here's a resolution. We don't have to do that, do we? Resolution for House Bill 1329. There is a bill in the legislature right now to change the prevailing wage threshold for government projects in excess of a certain amount of money. And what it does, it costs municipalities more money than they could otherwise if they didn't have this low threat. I think the threshold is 25,000 or something. And we're told that we need to make a resolution supporting this bill so that the legislature knows that the townships are, all the municipalities really are against this thing, this prevailing wage, because it causes increased costs for a lot of the projects in the municipalities. So do we want to do this? Don't think we need to do it.
I have some questions. What are they raising the threshold from, 20?
25
I'm pretty
to-
sure it's 25 to 100.
25 to 85?
I don't remember what the numbers were, but we need to know that before we...
Yeah. Well, we can table that till the next meeting. Okay, we attended a PennDOT outreach meeting in February, or in March. They have it every year at Penn State, and they tell the municipalities in the area what they're doing on the roads. And some of the information we got was that the bridge of 119 over Jacobs Creek at William House is expected to be finished in 2013. And the project that's Route 819 that goes over 119, that's at Crossroads, that will be started in early 2013. So they'll be both getting together there at the same time. There's one problem that we addressed that they told us that there was nothing to do about it. The northbound ramp from 119 to go to Crossroads will be closed for some period of time. And that will cause some inconvenience for people that want to go to Crossroads at Walmart or Getco or those places. They'll have to go another way.
They'll be going through Kingview.
Yeah.
Old 119.
There is PennDOT maintenance crews are going to seal 154 miles, seal code 154 miles of roads, and there are maybe 3 miles of roads. None of these will be in Fayette County, or upper Tyrone. The only work they'll be doing in upper Tyrone is they'll be trying to make slide repairs to Narrows Road, where the rain from last July, that heavy rain we had that washed out those people's foundation.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be working on that. That's the only work they're doing in the.
Can I add something? I live on Narrows Road. Are they going to do anything with the culvert?
We hope so. We asked him, they've got to get the water where it's supposed to go.
Because there's all 3 culverts up here with totally blocked.
Well, that's what I told him. Yeah, I spoke with the with the maintenance engineer, and I told him that I thought there was some plug catch basins in that, on that road, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah, that's all of them.
Okay, we are receiving this is another one from PennDOT. We're receiving a grant for new signs, road signs, and, so we'll be replacing eventually all the road signs too. We'll be replacing all the road signs in the township eventually as we get the grant. That's about all I have for that. Oh, the grant's $15,000. Us and Bullskin Township are the only municipalities in the district that got the money. Okay, I'd like a motion to set spring cleanup days for May 14th through May 25th. There will be dumpsters available at the Township building. Do I have a motion?
The township building only?
Township building only.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. And that's because we had issues with people down in the
Issues
lower end.
last year that it's got to be too much. Okay, I'd like a motion to purchase a new dump truck through the state Co-Stars program. It's already been put in the 2012 budget. Do I have a motion?
That's to authorize us to purchase with the proper,
I mean, is there a serious problem with our trucks?
We've been putting a lot of money in that GMC. That's the one that's going.
The GMC?
Yes. That's the one that's going.
my concerns are that it's, if our intent to purchase, if we find a price that's reasonable, and we budgeted, how much for the $50,000 for a truck, and if we get a good price, whether we trade the truck in or not, I think we need to make the motion so that we cover all that gambit, so that we can just do what we have to do if we get a good price between now and next meeting. I mean, am I correct with that, Rick? And in other words, we just make a motion to purchase a truck, we don't really know. I don't know what that.
What kind of truck you want to purchase? I don't know.
Oh, well, we
I
have to
gave
get.
you specs.
Yeah, you have the spec right here.
It's just to authorize us to do
F-450.
what I'm saying, but
I need to.
I don't know the proper way to make the motion is what I'm.
I don't know either, except that it does say through the state Co-Stars program, which I'm assuming is a piggyback program.
Yes.
That allows you to take advantage of some state bid without the necessity of bidding.
Right.
That having been said, as you can see, I don't have a bidding concern. And obviously, it's a motion to authorize the purchase through that program. I'm assuming that it presumes, based upon the fact that you say you budgeted it, that you're not going to get one if it's over your budget.
That's
Right.
So I think your motion is sufficient to allow you to either do it or not do it, depending upon if you can find something through that program to
Okay.
meet your budgetary constraints.
That would include a trade of the
It may
GMC.
include a trade, right? Or is it going to include a trade?
Yeah.
It may, is the best way to say it.
Well,
Because if we trade it in, then if we don't trade it, we're going to bid it out to get rid of it, so. I'll make the motion the way it stands.
Second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion to advertise for bids for road paving for various township roads. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
I'll second it. What roads we?
Iannotti Road, Friedman, Parkway.
You can get, you can just hold that.
Yeah, just can't go.
Yeah. See it? There.
Oh, package right there.
Just a question, are you going to open at a regular meeting or at a special meeting?
It's not cement.
No, 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 no. It's asphalt. Okay, did we pass that?
You didn't take the vote. You got a second.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion to change the May 8th, 2012 regular meeting to May 14th because of the PSAT's Hershey Conference. We won't be here. Do I have a motion?